Ladies and gents, boys and girls, here we go. No, there isn't a transfer announcement. It's the big one, the title decider. It's Forest versus Liverpool. Welcome to my match preview. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well and welcome to the preview. Let me know in the comments, are you nervous? What are your score predictions? Can Forest do it? I've been saying that all season. At some point, are you going to start to believe? This for me is huge. It's absolutely massive. I think not just for Forest, but for Liverpool as well. We'll get into all of this in just a second. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And please do subscribe to our second channel, The Footy Network. The link's in the pinned comments, or you can scan this QR code and go check out my predictions for week 21 in the Premier League. That's live there now on the channel. I'll leave it on the end screen for you guys as well. And we had a preview with my mates from Coppish yesterday. We've had Grumpy Old Reds. There's plenty of content for you guys to catch up on if you're looking for that. But let's focus. Let's focus on the big one. Tuesday night under the lights at the City Ground. Liverpool are rolling up. And when we look at historical records, we all know Forest hadn't won in 55 years at Anfield. That changed this season as we are the only team to beat them. And with Liverpool, they hadn't won since, I think off the top of my head, 1984. We don't count last year because of the cheating that happened. So, you know, there's history here. There's history here. A lot of the golden age Forest fans are saying this is giving them, you know, vibes of the late 70s again under Cloughy. We all know what then went and happened. So I'm not as nervous on this game. I think we go in with no pressure. I think the pressure is on Liverpool. The expectation is that they will beat Forest, but the expectation has been that a lot of teams were going to beat Forest this season. So let's see how this one goes. Now, the presses have been done by the managers. In case you haven't caught up with them, I'll give you a quick summary. Nuno is basically in coded terms says there's no new injuries, and Sangare is still a couple of weeks off. In terms of Slot, though, his attitude has changed towards Forest. And a lot of Forest fan base, I think, is seeing it as a bit more respect being handed out from Slot to Forest. I'm skeptical because he's saying, based on the results we've now seen of Forest, maybe them beating Liverpool earlier on in the season isn't as, you know, a shock result as he expected. So, you know, fair play to you, Slot. At least you've come down a peg or two on what you think about Forest. But I wanted him to stay high on that peg. I want him to come into this game with full pride, with full rent-free in his head, everything else, and maybe overcommit in terms of how badly he wants to beat Forest. So, lot to talk about. Team news is going to be interesting. So let's jump into that and I'll talk you through what I think is going to happen with the Forest team. All right, so let's do some detective work, and I'll do my disclaimer as always. I haven't seen the team sheet. Before you lot think if there's any hints or tips, I haven't seen anything. So this is just me on this one. Now, there's a few things that we can maybe derive from the Plucky Luton game, but I'm still not convinced. I think Nuno will throw a couple of curveballs. Now, Morato played the whole game. So I'd say there's an 80% chance that he's not going to start with a back three for this one. Something deep inside me, though, says he might do. But anyway, let's assume he doesn't. I think the back five is going to pick itself. If there was going to be any contention on the back five, I'd say it's between Williams and Moreno. Because mainly because of what Moreno did at Anfield against Salah. I thought he had a cracking game that day. However, Moreno did play, I think, most of the game, if not all of it, against Luton. So maybe you take something from that and put Nico Williams' favourite start at left back and kind of keep that back four, you know, unified and in terms of what we've seen a lot of lately. So I'm going to go with the back four. I'm going to go Williams, Murillo, Milenkovic and Aina. Sells in goal. It's the midfield too. I think Anderson is definitely locked in on this. I think really the only contention here is it Yates or Dominguez? For me, Yates played a good chunk of the Luton game and then came off, and Dominguez stepped on. I just think with the whole McAllister thing from last time, I'd probably go with Yates on this one and go with the Yates-Anderson combo. Keep Dominguez maybe for the latter half of that game. If Forest are winning, you could see maybe Hudson-Odoi coming off, Dominguez coming on, packing out that midfield more, something like that. Well, we're getting way ahead of ourselves here though. So I think it'll be Anderson and Yates. And then the front four, I think Elanga is the most important player on this team sheet in this game. Where I think Liverpool's weakness is Robertson at left back. I just don't think he's got the legs anymore. And Elanga can absolutely cook him on pace. This game is so important that Elanga goes outside of Robertson, takes him on down the wing. He's got the pace to beat him. I don't want to see Elanga cutting in or checking his run or anything like that. I don't mind if he attempts 8, runs past Robertson and misses out or loses the ball on 5 of them. There will be at some point, if he does it, a couple of opportunities where he will get in behind him and create a chance or two for Forest. So take it on. Don't be afraid to lose the ball. If it happens, it's going to happen in the Liverpool half of the pitch, and that's absolutely fine with me. But here's the key. He is the key for me in this game. And then Hudson-Odoi. I would start him just for the vibes, because of the vibes of his goal against Liverpool, that historic goal at the start of the season. It's important that he starts. Will he be up against Trent or will he be up against Bradley? Remember, Bradley's the one he sold the dummy to and was able to put the old FIFA finesse into that corner of the net. And then Morgan Gibbs-White for me right now is red hot. He's playing fantastic football. He is almost the first name on the team sheet. He's got to pull the strings and he will work hard in this game. And then Cristiano Woodinho, he starts. Hopefully he gets a goal, but don't sleep on Taiwo in this game. If you remember back to when we beat them at the City Ground a couple of seasons ago, Taiwo gave, I think it was Gomez and Virgil, if I remember rightly, a really physical, torrid time there. Now, I'm not saying Taiwo is the same Taiwo from 2 years ago, but again, there's just certain things that when you're playing against certain clubs, players get good vibes. And remember, you got Nico Williams, you got Taiwo, ex-Liverpool players as well. Maybe a little bit of an axe to grind there, which would be fantastic. So I'm going to go with this 4-2-3-1 formation. 20% of me says he goes a back three. But I'm going to say it now. If Forest take a lead after 30 seconds, make the sub and bring Morata on, man. Let me have my security blanket on. What are you guys saying? What do you think of that team? Do you think that's what he'll go with? Would you go with that yourself? Let me know in the comments. So let's touch on this Liverpool team. And I gotta say, I think they're a fantastic team. I know there's a good chunk of the Forest fan base that don't like Liverpool. Some of you guys hate them and what have you. I personally don't have any real beef with them. I respect what they're doing on the pitch. And for me, they were a team that could stop Man U from winning titles over years gone by. So I preferred them over Man United. But in terms of their current squad of players, if you saw our podcast yesterday with Kopish, they are worried because there are certain players they think may not be fit. You're looking at Kanate. He's been wearing a knee brace for the last couple of games. He pulled out before their FA Cup match against Accrington Stanley even. And if they are struggling here to get him fit, then Kwanzaa is the one who can deputise the young kid who's not really cut it yet at the level Liverpool need. So what do they do if they're not going to go with him? That could be a weakness for Liverpool. Again, we've seen all the hype about Trent Alexander with Real Madrid and everything. Does Slot go with Bradley as the person at right back? I think Trent's getting a harsh ride right now from the Liverpool fans and from mainstream media. I think he is a quality player. Let's not undermine what he can do when he inverts into that midfield. He's got a fantastic cross on him. There's a lot of danger that we have to make sure we kind of stave off in this game. And then, of course, we have to talk about Mo Salah, red hot right now, top scorer in the Premier League. But it has been kept quiet by Forest, apart from when Matt Turner wanted to gift him a goal. But he, for me, is not the one that scares me as much as Jota. Jota just always seems to score against us. And I'm hoping he doesn't start and it's Diaz up front. I could go through many more Liverpool players. You got Gravenberch, who's been converted into this 6 role, and I think he's been one of their best players this season. But this, for me, look, on paper, even I would struggle to get 11 Forest players in a combined 11. But it's not one on paper. As we saw at Anfield, this is about desire. This is about passion. This is about wanting it more. This is about sticking to Nuno's plan. This is about setting traps for Liverpool, getting them to overcommit bodies and then hit them quick with Elanga on those counter-attacks. This is how it's got to play out. Now, the difference between now and when we beat them at Anfield is that Slot isn't an idiot and he'll be aware of this. Will he tell his back line to play slightly deeper? Will he tell Robertson to hold station and not be as overcommitted? This may be the first time this season that we look at a team or come up against a team who are willing to adapt their tactics rather than continue with those they decide to respect what Forest are doing. I don't think he goes that far. I think he thinks he can win it with slot ball. And that, to me, could be his downfall on this game. I'm not going into this game chest out full of confidence, but I do see a scenario where Forest can win this. But we cannot do what we did against Arsenal and Man City and basically roll over, let them tickle our bellies and show them too much respect. Yes, we know Fulham, Nuno got it wrong tactic-wise, but I think in terms of respect, he got it wrong against Arsenal and Man City. And I don't think Nuno makes that same mistake again. Yes, show them the respect they deserve, but don't overdo it. And remember where we are. Remember why we're here, why we're in our current position. And have them show us the respect as well. Which I feel, even in their fan base right now, they are doing. So, what do I predict for this game? I mean, you guys will kill me if I don't say 0-0. So I have to say 0-0. I do have another score in mind though. All right, fine. I'll just say 0-0. I can't. I'll save the spice up for maybe the Southampton game because you guys are whipping out those pitchforks. I can see it right now. So fine, 0-0. Let me know your score predictions in the comments down below. But make no mistake about it. If Forest win this match, whether you like it or lump it, we are in a title race. But if Liverpool win this one, it's game over. Give them the trophy and put the ribbons on it. This is huge. Get your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to go check out our video over on our second channel, the Footy Network, where I've got all my predictions for week 21 coming up in the Premier League. And check out the podcast if you didn't from last night with the boys from Coppish as we discuss the ins and outs. And a real crazy discussion about who's worse, Kai Havertz or Nunes. We'll see you on the next video. Please don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Enjoy the next 24 hours because tomorrow night we go to war. Come on, you Reds.